warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizki. In this recording, I would like to tell you, I would like to present to you my reading report of discourse analysis. And what is discourse analysis? There are 5 points I would like to talk about. There are language as saying, doing, and being, language and practices, language and politics, two forms of discourse analysis, as in descriptive and critical, and the last one is discourse and socially situated and identities. The first one is language as saying, doing, and being. What is slang? As you may know, as you may be wondering, what is language for? Numerous people think language exists so that we can say stuff, say things, in the sense of communicating information. Nonetheless, language serves great numerous functions in our lives. Giving and getting information is by no means the only one. Language allows us to do things. It allows us to engage in actions and activities. There are amounts of myriad of things we do with language beyond giving and getting information. Language allows us to be stuff, to be things. It allows us to take on different socially significant individualities. We can speak as experts, as doctors, attorneys, anime aficionados, or carpenters, or as everyday people. To take on an identity at a given time and place, which we have to talk the talk, not just walk the walk. When they're being gang members, street gang members talk a different talk than honor scholars when they are being scholars. Likewise, one and the same person could be both effects at different times and places. In language, there are important connection among saying, as in performing, doing as in action, and being as in identity. Still, you cannot really understand it completely if you don't know what I'm trying to do and who I'm trying to be by saying it. By saying anything to you, to understand it fully, you need to know who is saying it and what the person saying is trying to do. And the second topic is language and practices. And one of the best ways to see something that we have come to take too much grand, like language, is to look at an example of it, make it strange again. So consider Yu-Gi-Oh! A popular culture activity, but one whose used language it will seem strange to many. Here are some facts about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card game that can be played face-to-face or in video games. There are also Yu-Gi-Oh! Television shows, movies, and books, in all of which characters act moves in the card game. There are thousands of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Players choose a deck of 40 cards and duel each other. The moves in the game represent battles between the monster and the card. Each card has instruction about what moves can be made in the game when that card is used. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a form of Japanese anime that is animated or cartoon, and characters and their stories shown in mangas, comic books, television shows, and movies. Japanese anime is now a worldwide phenomenon. If this all seems strange to you, that is all to the good. So how would you find out what the text really means? Since we are all influenced a great deal by how school has taught us to think about language, we are liable to think that the answers to this question is this. Look up what the word means in some sort of dictionary or guide. But this does not help anywhere as much as you think. There are websites where you can look up what the words and phrases on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The next topic is language and politics. Politics is not just about contending political parties. At a much deeper level, it is about how to distribute social goods in society. Who gets what in terms of money, status, power and acceptance on a variety of different terms, all social goods. Since when we use language, social goods and their distribution are always at stake. Language is almost always political in a deep sense. Let's take a dramatic case to make the point clear. Thus, in using language, social goods are always at stake. At least for some people, if no one cared about a game or practice anymore, now saying being accepted as acceptable or good in a game or practice as important anymore, the game or practice would no longer have any social goods to offer and would cease to exist. Thus, in using language, social goods are always at stake. When we speak or write, we always risk being seen as a winner or a loser in a given game or practice. Mm, the next topic is two forms of discourse analysis, as in descriptive and critical. The term discourse analysis was introduced by Zelig Harris in 1952 as a way of analyzing connected speech and writing. Harris had two main interests: the examination of language beyond the level of the sentence and the relationship between linguistics and non-linguistic behavior. He examined the first of these in more detail, aiming to provide a way for describing how language features and distributed within texts and ways in which they are combined in particular kinds and style of text. These discourses, he argued, not only share particular meanings and they also have characteristic linguistic uh, feature, features associated with them, what these meanings are and how they are realized in language is of central interest to the area of discourse analysis. Some approaches to discourse analysis, which can call descriptive, answers this question by saying that their goal is to describe how language works in order to understand, just as the goal of the physicist is to describe how the physical world works in order to understand it. In both cases, the discourse analysis and the physicists, their hope may also be to gain the explanation of how language of the world works or the world works and why they work that way. Though their work may have practical application in the world, these discourse analysis and physicists are not motivated by those applications. The last topic is discourse and socially situated identities. When we speak or write, we use more than just language to display who we are and how we want people to see us. The way we dress, the gesture we use, and the way or ways we act and interact also influence how we display social identity. Other factors which influence this include the ways we think, the attitude we display, and the things we value, feel, and believe. Discourses then involve the socially situated identities that we enact and recognize in the different settings that we interact in. They include culture-specific ways of performing and culture-specific ways of recognizing identities and activities. Discourses also include the different styles of language that we use to enact and recognize these identities. That is, different social languages. Discourses also involve characteristic ways of acting, interacting, and feeling, and characteristic ways of showing emotion, gesturing, dressing, and posturing. They also involve particular ways of valuing, thinking, believing, knowing, speaking, and listening, reading, and writing. I think that's all for me. I would like to say thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day.